So if you subscribe to any of the major Battlefield creators on YouTube or you follow them on Twitter, you will have seen that there has been some pretty major news appearing over the last week or so. I didn't cover it on YouTube because I was just a little too busy with other things in life. I work a full-time job and running this channel at the same time can be a little bit tricky trying to keep on top of all the news, but what I'm going to do in this video is bring you my opinions on the information that was dropped in that EA call, if you like, where they essentially linked in a few things about the next Battlefield game, and also bring to you a few leaks that I've seen that hold a bit of water in my opinion. I think they're going to be pretty accurate when the game officially drops. So starting out, Battlefield 2021 or Battlefield 6, we don't have a name for it yet, is going to be revealed in spring 2021 and then released in holiday 21. We already knew this stuff. More interestingly, they did state that it's going back to military warfare or all-out military warfare with more players than ever before. 2 points there. All-out military warfare is Battlefield 3 and BF4. That's the kind of terminology that they were using back then, so I'd expect to see something very similar. More players than ever before, well, we've seen 64 players and no more, unless you're talking about some mods for Battlefield. This could mean that they're dropping in 80 players, probably 100, maybe 128. Will they consider the implications of having that many players on a Battlefield map? It could mean that operations or grand operations will be reborn again and we'll see a third iteration of the mode. That would be very interesting with 100 players. Apparently, the game will take full advantage of next-gen consoles with new features. This is fantastic, hopefully, and I don't want to have anything against the old generation consoles, but hopefully it will be new gen only. If it's new gen only, they will focus purely on that, and the game will be better because of it. Trying to get new games to run on old hardware is very difficult. Do you remember back to even Battlefield 3 struggling to run in some cases on the old hardware, even though it did come out in 2011 and was designed for them, it just didn't quite run the same as it did on PC. You've then got Battlefield 4, which really struggled on the PS3 and Xbox and just didn't have as much content on there, less player numbers. Can you imagine 128 player servers running on the PS4 and the old PS4? I don't think that would really work too well, so maybe it will be just locked to next gen. We'll see more on this, as I said, with the full reveal in spring. Personally, I'm expecting to see a teaser similar to that in Battlefield 3 where you'll get little snippets of things. They'll show you a bit of gameplay and then lead up to the main trailer release with some really cool snippets that will make you think, well, where's this map? What's this weapon? What faction are we going to be playing? That's what I hope to see. It will get the hype train rolling. I really do believe that people are going to get super excited for this, and the fact we've had 3 years since a Battlefield game, or it's 2 and a bit years now, but it'll be 3 years by the time it releases, people are just desperate to play Battlefield. They're waiting for that next game, that successor to Battlefield 4, and building on what we had in BF1 and BF5. I think it's going to be an absolute smash hit. One thing that's very interesting, and this links into the leaks that I've seen, in the call, EA stated that we're going to see the next edition of Battlefield as it takes all the destruction, player agency, vehicle and weapon combat that the franchise is known for and elevates it to another level. This is going to be linking into Levolution and destruction, in my opinion. If you think about Levolution, this is where in Battlefield 4 we saw huge buildings collapse. We saw a little bit of it in Battlefield 3, although it wasn't called Levolution, where the sides of buildings would crush the players below if you destroyed maybe a pillar or you shot some debris down. They've kind of got to go back to the big frostbite destruction that we've seen in Battlefield in the past. Bad Company 2 had these buildings that would collapse and it was amazing and it really defined that game, in my opinion, compared to Call of Duty at the time. A lot of people loved that about Battlefield. It would feel more real and that you could have a real impact on the battlefield itself. When we're looking at the next gen, the next big thing, it has been leaked, or I'd say hinted at, that we could be seeing a return to Levolution, but it could be on an even larger scale. Imagine Caesar Shanghai or Dawnbreaker from Battlefield 4, but all of the buildings would collapse, not just one. Tom Henderson, a well-known Twitter poster, has dropped a couple of things over the past months or so that seem to be fairly legit. I think he might know somebody who tests the game or plays the game and they link him the odd bit of information. It's not concrete evidence, but as you can see from his tweets, it does look fairly interesting. What are your opinions on this? Would you like to see a return to Levolution? Personally, I'd love to see it, although it has to be done in the right way. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than watching that tower on Caesar Shanghai collapse as you are pushing an objective on a game of Rush. It just looks absolutely insane. One more thing that I think I will kind of end this video with, but a bit of food for thought. Microtransactions in Battlefield. It's been spoken about a little bit recently that $60, $70 for a game like Battlefield with content on top of it, if it's going for a live service, is very cheap. And I would agree, games have evolved over time. If I'm going to put 1,000 hours into something, I should really be paying a bit more than $60 because that's what I pay for a game, a single player game that I put 20 or 30 hours into. Most games though these days, FPS games, are free to play. Apex, Call of Duty, I'd say Warzone more than Call of Duty, but they're all free to play and then the money is made through the microtransactions. This is incredibly lucrative, with Activision reporting $1.32 billion in revenue from microtransactions in just Q4 of 2020, an increase of $120 million from Q3. What I'm starting to see though is a change in the industry from these $50, $60, $70 FPS games, maybe with a $100 deluxe edition or whatever, and then the microtransactions in the game where you buy the skins. That's starting to change now to a free-to-play model where you then buy the things you want in-game, you pay for a battle pass almost like a Netflix subscription, where you're paying per month to get access to the content that's in the game. You can play it for free if you want to, so the player numbers are exploding, but you've also got those people who they describe in these office meetings as whales, so they're just happy to throw any amount of money at the game, buy everything, spend $1,000, they don't care, they just want it. But that makes more financial sense. You get the best of both worlds, you get high player numbers, but you get a lot of money. I think that you've also got a big problem though that appears with this. Free-to-play games have lots of cheaters. Obviously, you can get the game for free, and you can cheat with very little repercussions. If you get caught, you could make a new account, or at the end of the day, you've not spent any money, so if you're not going to play anymore, you're not going to lose out. With Battlefield 5 seeing so many cheaters, and with Warzone being absolutely inundated with cheaters at the minute, this could be a nail in the coffin for Battlefield before it's even come out. This is the most important part of the game in my opinion. If they can't get that right, if they can't work out how to get a model that works financially, a game that can be played by everybody, obviously we've got the skill-based matchmaking debate, all of that stuff, and whether it's casual or competitive and all of that stuff that they've got to discuss, but also can they keep cheaters out of the game? We saw how quickly people moved over to Call of Duty, including content creators, when Battlefield 5 started to go down the pan. People don't have that much loyalty to the franchise, and nor should they. If the game isn't reaching the heights that they promise, people will move. And this is a really important part of this Battlefield game succeeding, in my opinion. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. As I said, I was a bit late on the news. I did see it. I did retweet it on Twitter the minute it came out. But yeah, I'm just going to give you my opinions in this one, and let's see, because I know there's a lot of people that watch these videos who aren't so interested in the hype, they're more interested in the facts, and really they have their own opinions on where Battlefield is going into the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.